What's going on, dreamers and believers? 14RN here, back with another video for you guys today. So I've just finished shooting up pretty much all my fitness videos this last month. I've got a workout routine down for pretty much each muscle group if you guys are interested. But now I want to shift gears on this channel and kind of go into depth about some other topics that I'm really excited to talk to you guys about. So this video is going to be 4 habits/mindsets that I believe are incredible to incorporate into your life, and they can getting so tongue twisted recording these videos. But anyways, these 4 habits are ones that I've personally worked on implementing in my life over this past year, and my whole self-improvement, confidence building, being more charismatic, learning, life adventure pursuits, whatever you want to call it. So I want to go ahead and share them with you and kind of explain a little bit of a backstory as to why I strongly advocate for these 4 habits I'm about to talk to you about. Now, that list of habits and things you can do to work on improving your life goes on and on and on and on, but these 4 are probably going to be the most big game changers, at least that I've noticed since I've implemented them. So in case you're not aware, the first one is going to be the most obvious one. If you know me, if you know anything about me, then you know the next words I'm about to say are fitness, working out, getting your ass to the gym, sweating a little bit. Guys, as one of my old heroes once said, this guy Greg played was like a fitness model, big inspiration to me. If you ever type in his name and go on YouTube, he's got tons of just motivational vlogs. But one of the lines he said is, it's the best high that there really is out there, guys. And the best part about it is you don't have to shoot up for it, you don't have to snort it, you don't have to drink it. All you have to do is sweat for it. And a little backstory with me, I've had kind of like a roller coaster with as far as me being consistent with my fitness routines in my life. And this last year I've been pretty good, and I've been on it, I've been grinding, I've been hitting it hard, and I have felt the effects. I'm happier more often, I just feel good all the time, confidence goes through the roof, my body's starting to look like how I've always wanted it to look like. But even going further than that, I'll take you back to when I actually started for the very first time. I think I was 18 years old. And for me, I had a very chubby childhood. I grew up on a diet of double stuffed Oreos and these big ass glasses of milk, and I could go through a whole pot of Hamburger Helper in one sitting. And I love my mom, but she didn't really know much about nutrition. So I was like the kid on the Taco Bell diet, pretty much a typical American kid. You just go, you drink your Coke, you go to the vending machine, you get your Cheetos, and you don't know any better. And then before I know it, I'm 17 years old and 250 pounds, chubby little nerdy kid with a double chin, glasses, and the only thing I do is play Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I couldn't even talk to a girl, period. Guys, I kid you not, this is hilarious. Pretty girls, I couldn't talk to because I was just straight up nervous and just had the self-esteem of a penguin. Literally it was bad. But even ugly girls, I couldn't talk to them either because I was just so afraid of what people would think of me if I was in that kind of situation, just being seen talking to a not so good looking girl. Thankfully, these issues are long in the past, and I just view everybody as awesome. I think some people out there, I think when you get to a certain age and a certain level of understanding, and I'll talk about this a little bit more in the further habits, you come to realize that some people, the way you look, the person you are is just, you didn't get any say in that. It's literally just kind of a lottery ticket. So some people are these beautiful 10 out of 10 models, freaking Greek god looking men physiques, but they've got souls of a freaking penguin. Then there's some people who are just ugly or not really beautiful as to what society would think of it as, but they've got souls of dragons. And since I've had this realization, I talk to everybody, and man, I've definitely established some beautiful friendships by actually getting out of my head here. But anyways, going back to the original point, which I'm talking about is fitness here, is that once I started my fitness routine, I was 18, I painted you the picture of this just really depressed, unconfident little kid with a lot of hate in his heart. I would look in the mirror and I would just hate life. And I would say hateful shit God, why the fuck do I look this way? And, really, that was just me in lower consciousness, really young, really had no guidance, didn't know anything of what was going on. But I started working out, and the weirdest thing happened. And after maybe 6-7 months of staying on a fitness routine, and literally only things going through my head at the time were just anger and pain. I just hate everything. My personality shifted 180%, completely opposite direction. I all of a sudden just became like really positive. I was really happy all the time. I was enthusiastic about life. I was making a ton of friends, and I really think fitness went hand in hand with improving my life to get me at least on the path to being the person that I ultimately wanted to be. And I stayed consistent with it throughout most of these years, but there's a little point in my life, a little over last year, when I fell out of my fitness routine, and guys, life got sour pretty quick. I started working out less, I started gaining weight, I was on autopilot, I was just going through the motions, not really thinking of myself, who I am as a man, what I want to do for the world and the things I want to give back. And it was just too easy to turn my mind off. You go through your work, your 3-4 days a week, 9 to 5, whatever, you come home, you play video games, you sleep, you watch Netflix, and that's literally it until one day you're forced to wake up. And for me, that was like maybe a little over a year ago when I actually really, I'm 27 now, so I was 26 at the time, but that's when my eyes really started opening up, and I was like, wow, I'm not going to be alive forever. I've got to really think about the things I want to do before I'm dead. And to me, nothing better than trying to help other people out and help other people who are on the self-improvement journey themselves. So that's why fitness is definitely my number one habit that you should work to implement. On top of that, there's all the scientific reasons behind it. American Heart Association strongly recommends between 70 if high intensity working out and 150 minutes if low intensity working out to greatly increase the risk of you dying of like a heart attack or stroke, which I think is like the number 1 and number 5 cause of death in the United States. So a lot of reasons if you want to live a long, healthy life, obviously working out. And the best part about working out is you can work out however you want. Like for me, I love bodybuilding. I love the idea of sculpting an aesthetic body and making everything proportional, getting like a big upper chest and shoulders and upper back to kind of give you that superhero V-taper. And that's what it is about me. So I get to like work out and kind of be an artist at the same time. But I mean, for you, you can find a program that is conducive to you. For example, you could do like yoga if you find yourself just being stressed and having a lot of muscle tension everywhere and everything's always just tight. Yoga routines are excellent. There's like Pilates. You could even do freaking parkour. Get out in the city and just go run and fuck some shit up, guys. There's billions of routines. Even CrossFit, if that's for you, if that gets you to work out. CrossFit, I don't like it personally, but it's still an excellent way to get out and do a little bit of activity. Anyways, enough for working out. My number 2 pick for habits you should try to involve more in your life is going to be one of the oldest and probably most neglected ones there is. Reading! Yeah. Now I'll be honest with you guys, I'm actually very slow of a reader in person, but I abuse the fuck out of audiobooks. And I think I've gone through about maybe 7 or 8 books this year, but guys, reading is just wonderful. Since I've started reading, it's like, if you were to take your life and think about some area of life that you're just very like passionate about or that you spent your whole life working on and you put it in a book, you get the privilege of reading someone else's like life work and all this work and effort they put into just this one perspective, and you get to just read a book to see all these great ideas that took them years to come to, but you get it in the span of a couple hours. I mean, why wouldn't you be open to a little extra knowledge and insight, And for me, it's definitely given me a lot more perspective on just, life, just managing myself, being more charismatic, being more like in control of my emotions, really finding that almost childhood-like joy again and just like being alive and being excited about stuff by reading all these different books. And, find books that are interested in topics that you want to learn more about. So for me, I've read a lot of books this last year, like Man's Search for Meaning, Way of the Superior Man, How to Win Friends and Influence People, 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. The one I'm going through right now is Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, and I'm only a third of the way through this book, but it's already like shattering like my perceptions on like reality as I know it, but in a good way, in a good way that makes life very tolerable and very beautiful. Definitely beautiful. But ideally, find a book about a topic that you want to learn more about. And it's just a great way to just get free information. And, when you're constantly learning, I found that life can just be very exciting and just very fulfilling. And it's not like it's a big commitment, guys. Like maybe when you're driving to work, you have a 15, 20-minute commute, play an audiobook instead of music, get a little free knowledge. Maybe you're working out, doing some light cardio, play an audiobook while you're doing some Stairmaster, treadmill, whatever. Maybe you're driving to go visit your mom, play a little audiobook, doing the dishes, play the audiobook, capitalize, progress, advance. Knowledge really is power. Now, I'm going to actually take a moment and put a little disclaimer on this, and this is something that I've kind of come to terms with and found out about, is that whenever you're on a journey to self-improvement, let's say you think you're in pretty good shape, or, there's like a guy and, he thinks he's in good shape, doesn't really work out that much, but he decides, you know what, he wants to get in better shape. So he goes to the gym for the first time, and then all of a sudden, he's around all these people who have been working out, and then he all of a sudden doesn't feel like he's in as good a shape as he thought he was. So it's easy to be confident and stay on that like high level or caliber of, prestige when you're not actually engaged in the act of improving yourself. It's a paradox, actually. That's a good word for it. It's a paradox of self-improvement. So the minute you actually, get off your high horse and open yourself up to other perspectives and the pursuit of learning, you will quickly realize how little you actually know in the grand scheme of things. And that can actually have like a rebound bad effect for like your confidence in general. And then you kind of opens your mind to like, wow, I just learned all this and I just realized how much I don't know. Just be careful about that, guys. That can like be kind of a negative consequence of actually learning and self-improving, but just be mindful of it and know about it going into this, and then life can be very good. Third habit, this one I was pretty skeptical about. Now this one's gonna be meditation, and I used to think meditation was like for hippies, like these little like hippies and like their neon shorts, or like these little hipsters or yoga masters. I'm just like, what the fuck is meditation? I ain't gonna do that shit. But I gave it a try, and I've been doing it for a couple months now, and wow, it's awesome, guys. Like, there's an app out there called Headspace. If you're just a beginner, I recommend doing that. It's kind of like a guided meditation. But ideally, the whole idea kind of behind meditation is it teaches you that, at least for me, it really opened up my mind to the fact that I'd kind of been living in this frenetic state. Like, us as humans, we really tend to think about life a lot in terms of future and things we're going to do and events that are going to happen. And a lot of what we define ourselves as is kind of due to past experiences that we had. So I would frequently find myself, not actually being alive and present in this current moment in time, which is really the only thing I ever have. But I would always be thinking, like, daydreaming about the future, or daydreaming about the past, or reminiscing on past experiences, or just, painful things in the past. And it's almost like I never really just existed in this present moment in time. My mind was always flying elsewhere, future, past, or even like social media, like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. And since I started meditating, I take 10, 15 minutes a day just to do nothing. Just stay calm. Focus on your breathing. And just really, really enjoy your life, the person you are, the person you've become. And it's almost like that gratitude and joy has just been there the whole time. Not to sound like a hippie or anything, but since I started meditating, I have really, really chilled out, and I've just been finding so much like happiness. It's like almost I can like look at things, like let's say there's like this poster in the hallway that I've passed by 1,000 times before, but I've never actually stopped to look at it and actually, grasp like the beauty and the colors and, the curves and textures, and then all of a sudden it's like you've seen it for the first time, even though it's been there. And it's a lot of like these kind of like grandiose kind of like epiphanies I've been having since I started meditating. I've started to take like my work more seriously now, and just, like every moment to me kind of seems more like a gift, and it's beautiful. Even like the bad moments, I'm just like, wow, this is like trippy. Like seriously, no drugs, guys, just meditation. But another thing about it, I think the main idea behind meditation is it kind of teaches you that, your mind is kind of like the sky, and, it's blue, it's beautiful, it's always there, but thoughts are kind of like clouds. So, if you have like these very tremulous, just frenetic, negative energy, just bad thoughts like, oh, what's he going to say to me next time I see him? Or, oh, this sucks. Or, man, I did this event in the past the other day and I feel really like bad about it. But if you meditate, you know that the blue sky is still there despite all these bad, clouds kind of like moving through. So it really helps you to just kind of stay grounded. And even though you're experiencing these negative emotions or negativity or whatever you want to call them, you can actually just chill out and understand that they're just thoughts. And really, thoughts don't have any power over you. And, the sky is always blue. So it's a personal choice. Do you want to just be joyful and not really enlightened, but just, excited, just happy, and just really grounded and just like in your zone? Or do you want to just, give in to all these like impulses? That got deep really quick. Whew, meditation. Anyways, that's the third one. And this one, for the fourth habit, more of a mindset, I would say. And this is one that I'm currently working on introducing more into my life, is treating yourself as a best friend. Now, this one probably sounds really weird. It sounded weird to me too, but there's a lot of like good ideas behind this. So, for example, if you like fuck up or you like mess up or you do something bad, you are always the first person to actually like just beat yourself up and just feel really bad about it. And, just really like take it to heart. Maybe you were trying to accomplish this and you didn't do it, or maybe something happened in the past and you like strongly regret it. You'd really just kind of lash out on yourself. And, we are our own biggest critics. No one will judge you more in life than you judge yourself, the person you see every day when you look in the mirror. But let's take a step back from that and think about how you would treat like whoever your best friend is in your life right now. Or maybe you're just a good friend, best friend, but think about it. Like, let's say you feel like you really need to lose 5-10 pounds, or you feel really like chubby, you're out of shape or unconfident. But you're like, man, I really just want to lose like the 5 pounds so I can like feel good about myself. Let's take a step back from that. Let's pretend now like your best friend is feeling the exact same way as you and they need to lose like 5-10 pounds, but you're the best friend. Like, if they're 5-10 pounds heavier or lighter, you would still love that motherfucker. So why wouldn't you treat yourself as your own best friend? You know that if they lose 5 pounds, that's not going to make a difference or change them from the person they really are. They're still going to be your best friend. You know their underlying core values, their core beliefs, the person who they are at the core of their being, and you love them for that. And even if they go through like this bad cycle where bad thing after bad thing after bad thing just kind of keeps happening to them, keeps beating them down, and maybe they lose grasp and forget who they are and the potential they have, a best friend really has a good way of just always seeing it despite like all the bullshit. So I ask you, why wouldn't you treat yourself as your own best friend? Honestly, man, it's kind of like mind blows my mind, because if I think about it, I'm like, that's just like a really cool way to think about life in general. And this one I saw in this video. I'll share it in the link below if you're interested in knowing more about this topic. But this is one I've learned about maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and I've been trying to like apply it to myself, and it's really cool. It's also kind of really weird because it's like you have to think about yourself kind of like outside the box. But I'll leave a link to it. It's by the School of Life. They do a bunch of these like awesome like kind of perspective and like self-improvement type videos. And that's what this channel is all about. I want to help you guys invest in yourself. So these are my top 4 habits. There was a couple of them that came pretty close to making on this list. Most notable mention would probably be diet and nutrition. But I figured it'd be very hard to actually make a video about diet and nutrition just because there's so many different power foods and amazing foods that you can introduce into your life. And I think it should be kind of conducive to who you are as a person. Like for me, I'm like into bodybuilding and just being healthy and like, making sure my brain's operating fine so I don't feel like depressed and shit. So I like eating, certain types of foods like high in protein or high omega-3 fats, or foods that are like good in like tryptophan, help sleep. Like diet in itself is like one long crazy journey. But if you are going to incorporate diet into your routine and work on improving it, just take baby steps. As a rule of thumb, green is good. Get some more vegetables in your diet. Fruits are okay too. Maybe lay off the fast food. Try to eat less processed food. If man make it, don't eat it. So try to like get some raw ingredients and prepare food yourself. Rice, chicken, beans, whatever. But I'm gonna just be very vague about it because literally diet is a can of worms, and I don't really want to talk about it because it can be almost like endless. Like I'm still figuring out my diet for myself, and it's been like a year and a half, But anyways, guys. This was a little bit of a different kind of video for me. I was kind of uncomfortable recording it. That's probably like my 3rd or 4th take on it, but I think it's about as good as it's going to get. I hope this inspired you to implement some more lifestyle changes and routines into your daily life. And I invite you, enjoy the journey, be the best person you can be, invest in yourself, for yourself, be your best self, because you're fucking awesome. And guys, life is good.